40 education.
Years of pre-medical studies, I decided to take any plant courses at the university offered the final semester of my senior year. And Father McGrath taught botany at the university, but he also was an avid photographer, so he had a photography lab. He was a man of many talents, and in addition to that, he had worked as a winemaker, as I understood, under Brother Timothy at the novitiate in Napa Valley. So he had a wine appreciation course. That's the reason and I'm going to just step back here a moment, the reason my father had brought wine to the family table and risked the wrath of my mother was because he wanted to convert some of our apple orchards to vineyards. He had been going to the New York, Central New York, Finger Lakes District and meeting with some of the pioneers of that region, like, for example, Dr. Constantine Frank and Herman Beamer. And they convinced my father to plant vineyards, and my father thought I would be the person to do that. At any rate, when I back at Notre Dame, I had told Father McGrath, he asked me, why are you in my botany lab? And I said, well, you know, I've grown up in farming, I'm planting vineyards. And when he heard that, he said, you've got to be a part of my wine appreciation course. And I told him no. And I said, my mother would be opposed to that. And so he said, well, what, you're planting vineyards for wine grapes for New York. How is it that squares? So I know, here's my dad's phone number. You can discuss that with him. So my father basically said he could be a part of your wine appreciation course as long as you don't tell his mom. But basically, that put my father and Father McGrath in contact, and the two of them began to sort of like a collusion to send me out to Davis and study wine there. And I think both men felt that that would be a better course or a more interesting course than med school.
So, when did your mom find out that you weren't going to med school and that you were going to learn about wine?
Well, you know, all this thing worked out really smoothly because that same summer, which is the summer of 1975, after graduation, I came back to Notre Dame, and I was married there in the Basilica, and so so we did the whole wedding in South Bend, Indiana, and after that, I said, well, my dad said, just tell your mom you're going to take a honeymoon out to California. And so that's what we had. In fact, we were taking a honeymoon out to California. It just wasn't, we weren't coming back to New York. So my father simply said, when you get out to Davis, give me a call and I'll tell your mother. And that's how she found out.
Oh, man. Well, we'll be back in a few minutes with our guest mentor, the Steve Jobs of wine, Paul Hobbs, as we discuss how someone from a teetotaling household became a winemaking legend. Go to our website, thementorsradio.com, and click on List of Shows to listen to past guests. This is Dan Hesse, and you are listening to The Mentors Radio Show.
Hi, I'm the executive producer of The Mentors Radio Show. Usually I'm behind the scenes, but I want to tell you about something special. If you're an entrepreneur like me, you need steady energy and focus. Here's my secret. I rely on science-backed, high-quality, bulletproof collagen protein and other bulletproof products. My sister told me about it. At feelgreat.vip, you can learn the health journey of Bulletproof founder Dave Asprey. Find out what sets these products apart from the rest. Nothing can replace the advice of your medical doctor, but good nutrition can absolutely enhance your mood, energy, and focus, like it did for me. The demands of business, not to mention important time with family and friends, make steady energy so important. With more than 1 million fans, I'm not alone in recommending Bulletproof. Go to feelgreat.vip. That's VIP, like very special person. Feelgreat.vip to learn more.
Are you a small to mid-sized business looking for a tax, accounting, or CFO-level advisor to handle or guide your company's financial decisions? Consider KMLPC. KMLPC excels in creating easy-to-use, customized financial systems for small to mid-sized entrepreneurs and companies, especially nonprofits. KMLPC supports and protects wide range of accounting and bookkeeping services in addition to CFO guidance. They prioritize digital integration, and their exceptional staff will make your life and even taxes so much easier. Their client list is a who's who of nonprofits and entrepreneurs. Clients who've stayed with them for years and won't go anywhere else. So if you need financial or tax help for your business or nonprofit, contact KMLPC today at KML-PC.com. That's KML-PC.com. KML-PC.com, and mention the mentors.
And now, back to the mentors, where remarkable CEOs challenge your thinking about life and business.
Welcome back. This is Dan Hesse, and I'm with Paul Hobbs discussing how mentors changed his life's course. Remember, you can also listen to this show or any previous show via podcast on Apple, TuneIn, Spotify, Google, and more on any device at any time. Subscribe at thementorsradio.com. So, Paul, you're at UC Davis. I think you did your master's thesis on the characteristics of French oak, which caught the eye of a Napa Valley icon. It must have been an amazing experience for someone so young to work on a groundbreaking project like Opus 1. What was that? I mean, what was that like, and what did it mean to you?
Well, it's pretty heady, Dan. I mean, particularly since I had joined the Mondavi organization just 1 year or year and a half prior to the formation of Mouton Rothschild and Robert Mondavi. And so I was still very much a green sprout, if you will, in terms of an apprentice, essentially winemaker. Mr. Mondavi felt that I would be an additive to the Mondavi team, given my chemistry background at Notre Dame and UC Davis, and he felt that the work that I had done on French oak and so on was going to be additive, and so he appointed me to the inaugural winemaking team with his son Tim, and essentially once we consummated the deal and began the first meetings in Oakville in Napa Valley, and the French were not very interested in talking about chemistry. So essentially, I got a seat at the table without much to do in terms of the French. And so Mr. Mondavi's Italian background miscalculated the French pursuit of winemaking, I suppose. We were very much Berkeley, this questioning kind of approach to winemaking, which was derived initially from UC Berkeley before I went to Davis, where the French were much more, this is the craft, and we just carry on the same craft from year to year. And I think that was the rub.
Dan Hesse, you were listening to the Mentors Radio Show, and we are with Paul Hobbs discussing how he chose winemaking as a career. So you later went to work at CME, which got bought out by LVMH, the kind of the luxury group. How did the culture change at CME after that acquisition, and what did you do about it?
Yes, well, that was, I joined CME in 85, and then I believe roughly somewhere in 1987, LVMH, which is now the world's largest luxury company, was formed in 87. And I was thrilled, frankly. We were owned by Shefflin and Somerset out of New York, which was the import arm of Moët Hennessy products. And I thought, well, this is my opportunity to work for a multinational, whereas Mondavi was family-owned, and we didn't have much international distribution. But what happened was, I was roughly in my mid-30s, and what happened was that I was kicked up into more of an executive role, and so during the day, my daytime hours, I was working too much in the offices, not enough out on the floor of the winery or in the vineyards. That, I couldn't see a way out of that, and I was also at an impasse in terms of my career. And that's what I was thinking about, well, at the age of 35, or 34, it's a pretty kind of, if I'm going to do something and strike out on my own, I was pretty fiercely independent of my father. This was the time, I shouldn't wait too long. And so, but I was struggling with how to make that happen. That was my dilemma. Well, I don't really want to go back into the California wine scene, as I've worked at Mondavi and Simi, two of the best in that particular era. And I thought, well, this is the time to launch my own business, my own career. And that's kind of where my head was at that moment.
What you described, I had previous guests on the show, Admiral Mullen, who was chair of the Joint Chiefs in the Navy, Admiral Allen, who has come down to the U.S. Coast Guard, Bill Zollers, who is the CEO at a long time at big company YRC, and all of them, when they talk about the key to their success, it was getting out in the field, getting out of headquarters, doing the real work, getting to know the business. And I always kind of felt that way during my career. Actually, my nickname was Captain Kirk, because they said, you didn't want to be a Starfleet command, you wanted to be out fighting Klingons, and that's so true. But I think it's very true. I encourage young managers to really get to know any business they're a part of, to take different jobs in different disciplines, on the front lines, because with that experience comes confidence, which is really crucial, I think, in decision making, especially once you become an executive. You have to be decisive, and if you really know your business, you have that confidence, and you don't wait. You don't wait for more studies. You don't wait for more data. You use the data that's there, but you go make a call. Paul, you exude confidence. You really do. Where did your confidence come from?
Well, I think you touched on it a bit. And, I always felt like the most important thing is to work from the ground up. So actually, when I started at Robert Mondavi, I didn't start off as a winemaker, and many of my colleagues graduating from Davis in the master's program went right on into the winemaking title, running wineries, and I didn't feel, frankly, that I was ready to do that. So I worked from the ground up, in fact, starting in the laboratory, and then I did a double stint at Robert Mondavi, working 40 hours in the laboratory and then 40 hours in maintenance, learning how to fix and repair winery equipment and understand how it works. And I think that just building the framework or the groundwork, sort of like a master of anything, I think that 10,000 hour thing is what comes into play. And that would give me confidence. I felt my education, but there also just, I suppose, it's not like I always, in every situation, felt confident, and I must say. So I think the only thing is how to make fear a friend. I think that was also how to overcome uncomfortable situations. And that was part of what launched me into an international career.
So by the way, on the confidence side, I think we were talking once, and I think you were with kind of LVMH and Simi, and you were on a trip to Portugal, and you were, I think, tasting ports, kind of a blind. Tell me about that.
Well, that particular situation, we were with the Moet Chandon Group and Hennessy Group, and it was a trip organized by them to one of their properties in Portugal. But this particular night, we were at Quinta do Noval, and Philippe Coulon, who was the head of the Moet, hosted a dinner, and he put an old port out of it, but was all blind, of course, and asked who could identify what it was in the glass. And I just happened to taste the wine, but this is also because of the training that I had at Robert Mondavi. We did so much tasting of wines from all over the world to benchmark, and so I developed an international palate, and I would quickly raise my hand and said I knew what it was, and he said, "You damn Americans," which was an interesting, but I think was very telling as well, because I've had friends tell me that some of the owners of some of the top chateaux, for example, in Bordeaux, have said, well, actually, their fathers only let them taste their own wines. They didn't know what the only way they could find out what their competitors' wine tasted like was to leave their family, maybe even go to another country, and that way they could try, the wines of their competitors, or at least their neighbors.
Well, we'll be back in a few minutes with our guest mentor, winemaking icon, Paul Hobbs. Remember, you can listen live to our Saturday broadcasts anywhere in the world by going to San Francisco 860 The Answer. This is Dan Hesse, and this is the Mentors Radio Show.
A lifetime ago, young naval aviator Tom McGuire took the oath of allegiance to support and defend the U.S. Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now a San Francisco PD homicide inspector, McGuire hadn't thought about the oath in years, but that was all about to change. A famous local newspaper columnist had been murdered. For McGuire, there's an eerie chill of recognition about it, harkening back to his days as a prisoner of war after being shot down in North Vietnam. A lifetime ago, another young naval pilot took that same oath. Also shot down in battle, he too spent time as a POW, same camp as McGuire. After 30 years, their lives were about to cross once again. But how and why after all these years? Multi-award-winning mystery author Dennis Kohler's The Oath can be found online or for an autographed copy at oathbook.org. That's oathbook.org. oathbook.org.
It's a bully, but we aren't afraid of a fight. It's elusive, but our focus never fades. It's deadly, but we were born to defeat cancer. You may not have heard of us, but our work has helped millions impacted by cancer. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We are leaders in advancing breakthroughs in immunotherapy, genomics, and personalized medicine. This research saves lives. After 65 years of fighting blood cancer, we've arrived at a game-changing belief. The cures for cancer are in our blood. The drugs and treatments we've developed for blood cancer have helped people affected by many different types of cancer. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood. Learn more at lls.org.
Are you a small to mid-sized business looking for a tax, accounting, or CFO-level advisor to handle or guide your company's financial decisions? Consider KMLPC. KMLPC excels in creating easy-to-use, customized financial systems for small to mid-sized entrepreneurs and companies, especially nonprofits. KMLPC supports and protects their clients. Bring a wide range of accounting and bookkeeping services in addition to CFO guidance. They prioritize digital integration, and their exceptional staff will make your life and even taxes so much easier. Their client list is a who's who of nonprofits and entrepreneurs, clients who've stayed with them for years and won't go anywhere else. So if you need financial or tax help for your business or nonprofit, contact KMLPC today at kml-pc.com. That's KML-pc.com. KML-pc.com. And mention the mentors.
And now, back to the Mentors, where remarkable CEOs challenge your thinking about life and business.
Welcome back. This is Dan Hesse, and I am talking with world-famous winemaker Paul Hobbs about career choices. So, Paul, we were talking about confidence, and you have to have a lot of confidence to pick the projects around the world that you have. You've been a trailblazer at bringing to the world's attention kind of obscure or forgotten wine regions with really unusual varietals, at least to me. I think I know wine, and God, you introduced me to ones I've never heard of, like Adello in Spain, Areni in Armenia, Malbec, actually in France, and Cahors, and actually Malbec, 35 years ago when you went to, we know a lot about it now, but 35 years ago in Argentina, not so much. Why do you venture out into these unknown kind of regions of the world instead of kind of playing it safe in the kind of better known wine appellations?
I think Dan, what drives me to some degree is just the adventure of going to places that are lesser known.